Hi traders, it's Roberto. Today is February the 5th, 2016. It is Friday, non-farm payroll, and this is going to be a live trade. Now we need, if it hits our deviation, so if the numbers come out and non-farm payroll is 262,000 jobs, then we're going to be selling the New Zealand dollar. If the numbers come out negative at 122K, this is our deviation, so then we're going to be buying New Zealand dollar. So what we do is wait for the numbers to come out, wait for a retracement, and then take a trade. So that will happen in about 6 minutes, and I'll be back at exactly 8:30. We'll see what the reaction is, we'll see what the numbers are, and then look to enter a trade. Okay, I'm back. The numbers have just been released, and non-farm payroll was negative 151K, and we were looking for a deviation of 70K. So not sure if we want to sell, or rather buy, the New Zealand dollar as of yet. So I'm going to wait for the market to settle down. So I'm going to wait about 15 minutes. Wait for this candle to close, this 15-minute candle to close. New Zealand dollar should go up because the numbers are negative. We're also going to be looking at the numbers out of Canada. So the unemployment rate stayed at 5 point. Oh, excuse me, I just lost it here. The Canadian unemployment rate is 7 point. So let's look at Canadian yen. Canadian yen. So this is going to be a good trade to take. Canadian the Canadian dollar is going down. Let's look at some other pairs. Aussie Canadian is going up. So we're going to wait 15 minutes and get in on the retracement. So we're going to be looking to buy Aussie Canadian. Let's look at USD Canadian dollar. Okay, those numbers, let's see what the employment change on Canada was. Yes, everything is negative in Canada, so we should see the Canadian dollar sell off. So here's USD Canadian. So we're going to buy USD Canadian, and if it does retrace, I'm just going to get back in. I'm going to wait for a retracement on Aussie CAD since it already took off, so I'm just going to wait for the market to come back down. And on CAD yen, the same thing. Let's switch over to the 15-minute chart and just wait for that retracement. We're going to be selling Canadian yen. And I'm not even going to trade New Zealand dollar. It's those numbers. It's much better to trade the Canadian since the numbers are so extreme. Notice here we have minus 5.7K, which the forecast was 5. So that's an extreme number. And also the unemployment rate increased. So this is much better. Where the numbers out of the U.S. we had mixed. We had negative non-farm payroll, but the unemployment numbers increased, or rather decreased. So you just have to wait till the market settles to see what direction it's going to take. But the numbers out of Canada were stronger. So we're going to be focusing on the Canadian dollar. So we're going to be buying USD CAD. We're going to be selling Canadian yen. And what was the other one? Oh, USD CAD Canadian. Let's look at some other pairs. Pound CAD would be a good pair to trade. So we're looking to buy Pound CAD. So I'm going to wait for the market to retrace on Pound CAD. So we still have about 15 minutes before this candle closes, and then we're going to enter a long position on Pound Canadian dollar. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pause the tape for a second. I'll come back in about 15 minutes. So and enter a trade on first Canadian yen. I'm going to be selling Canadian yen. I'm going to be buying pound Canadian dollar and buying USD CAD. Hi traders, I'm back, and my computer froze for about 5 seconds, so I had to reboot. Anyway, the only trade that I've taken so far is the USD CAD. The numbers were very negative for the Canadian economy, and so we're just going to stay in this trade up 12 pips, 14 pips as we look at this. So there is the trade. So there was the initial reaction, there was the pullback, and there was the trade. I actually entered this trade a little bit too early, knowing that most likely the market was going to, the Canadian dollar is going to sell off. So that's what's happening here. The other pairs have not worked out as well. I'm looking at several other pairs, and nothing looks as good as the USD Canadian dollar. I'm still waiting for Canadian yen to sell off, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. There's the initial reaction on Canadian yen, and let's see if it can break below this moving average line. And if it does, then I will take a trade, but it doesn't look like anything's happening at the moment. Maybe in about 15 minutes, but there's the initial reaction on CAD yen. There's the retracement. So this most likely would be, if I'm going to sell, this would be most likely area to sell this trade right now. But I don't feel comfortable entering a trade until it can break below this moving average line. So we're just going to be patient, just wait. The USD trade is working out well. So I'm going to stay in this trade for hopefully till 11 a.m. Eastern. I traded some back. Again, the numbers were very negative for the Canadian dollar. So there's the trade. There's the initial reaction to the USD CAD. There's the pullback right around. I actually took this trade a little bit too early, but it did come back down to the moving average line. So we're up 37 pips. I'm going to stay in this trade till 11 o'clock Eastern. There you have it. There's your non-farm payroll trade. I didn't take the trade on Canadian yen, even though it's starting to. There's the initial reaction. There's the pullback. I'll just make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. The market sold off, and there's the pullback right here. This is the end. Should have been the entry right here. I haven't taken the trade. And so that's it. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions on non-farm payroll, just shoot me an email. Have a good trading day and have a good weekend.